It's just work. We're trying not to take it too seriously.
But really, it is your career and you need to take ownership of it. Hello.
Hiya.
You did not send me the memo. 'Cause I don't. Wait, is there an interview going on today?
What memo? What are you talking about?
Is there something? Because why are you not looking?
Listen, you have to dress the way you want to be addressed.
So you have got to motivate to. What they call it? Aspire to perspire.
Listen, you have to dress the way you want to be addressed.
I've heard
today I came, corporate. But this fits what we're talking about.
Well, it actually now.
Listen.
Okay, I see what you did there.
You have to take me more seriously in life.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
Thank you. I know there was a compliment in there somewhere, but I take it. Thank you.
But you look very nice. I was like, you just took me back to my Nigerian days when I, because I don't dress this anymore.
True. But yeah, I am indeed dressing the part because, as you guys would have noticed, we have gotten into our culture is everything theme.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about culture in established organizations. The big corporates, the type of cultures that exist in these big corporates. We're going to be talking about the big pharma. We're going to be talking about big tech. We're going to talk about MBB, the Big Four. Is that what they're called?
Of course. I was waiting for that. Are you not going to talk about Big Four?
We're going to talk about the culture in the Big Four and Wall Street banks.
Yes.
Yeah, but basically we're focused on culture when it comes to big corporates.
Right.
There are a lot of us that want to get into these organizations, and for us, we just want to put some tips in front of you so that you know what to prepare for, you know how to position yourself, and hoping you won't get shockers when you get into these organizations you dream of getting to. Okay, Bukola, what's on your list?
Of course, I'm gonna start with Big Four.
Oh my God.
Yes. But those that don't know, I work with Deloitte, so yeah, this is why I'm always when it comes to Big, always like, yeah. And of course, my number one, I think so.
Deloitte is number one.
Oh yes.
How did that happen?
For the last, I think in the past, I think it is strongest brand. I think strongest brand and probably highest consulting firm with the highest revenue or something. We've remained number one in the last. If I can't remember, like this has been recurring for like I think up to like 5 or 6 years. Again, please don't quote me. I just need to maybe get my facts right. But I think it's been no. But it was just announced again like some weeks ago.
She said don't quote me.
Haters will hate. Yeah. Haters will hate.
Potatoes.
Anyway, potatoes will potate. But anyways, I think the Big Four, one thing you can expect from a cultural perspective is the fact that it's so fast paced. Everything's always happening like this, like so fast paced. Like everything's always happening on the fly. Like really, really fast paced. You also would expect very client centric, client facing, client focused. Really about this, serving our clients, our communities, and of course making sure that underlining all of that is also making sure that we still stay true to our purpose, true to the purpose of why the firm is established. So I think that's one thing you can expect there. You can also expect a clear career path, like you know that if you come in as an analyst or as an associate, like big fours typically run like a pyramid structure. So at the base is really wide, and as people go up the ladder, of course, it comes narrower. People move up, maybe exit, resign, or just a lot of things happen as you move up the board. It is very clear. Like you can almost. I remember when I was working, with Deloitte Nigeria back home, you could almost like predict how your path was going to look like you and for most people, of course, until things maybe for certain other reasons that came up from maybe from an economic perspective and maybe just bringing in more processes into how people progress, but you could almost predict how your progression was going to go,
right.
like maybe in another 9 years, like you can almost predict that you become a partner. Like you're almost like,
Really?
and you find so many young people who literally, and it was always such a thing of joy. Like you find people who came in like fresh out of school, and then you literally find them like in another year, like you saw them get married, you saw them, become parents, you saw them, so many big milestones in their lives, and then they are now partners. It's always such a
Right.
beautiful moment, like that progression. I think that's something that I would say I really appreciate about the Big Four, and I can always expect that. There's something called peak season. Peak season typically is when, and typically it's focused like mostly on a client perspective. So, but for those who are client facing, it's usually tied to the industries or sectors that you work with. So, for example, when banks are have to report or report on their financial reports, and they have to publish their reports, it's typically like a busy season because they're auditing their accounts and all of that. So all of those things tied to I'll say, to the clients that you work with, and that also translates to you because the means are doing that season. Just forget sleep. Just forget anything like work-life balance. Forget anything like you would work long hours. And the funny thing is, it's the same pattern in other, so your EY, your KPMG, your PwC, and it's the same pattern for those big fours. Like you can expect that this is what typically happens during busy seasons. Like some people call it peak season, some people call it busy season, but it's all like almost the same thing. So I think that's some of the things that you can expect to find in from a big four perspective. I think also in terms of even the kind of project that you work on, because you're working with diverse clients, you get to pick up skills that are not just assuming we're just working in maybe I don't know, maybe just for just one, you're working in a typical organization, right? And maybe not serving many clients. I think the exposure that gives you in terms of understanding clients from different industries and all that. I think that also is one thing you can expect. That just having that multifaceted approach to things, I think is also a culture you can expect to find in Big Fours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of people thrive in that environment, the Big Four?
I would say people who are solution oriented, problem solvers, of course, but because you literally are solving problems for your clients, so you have to be a problem solver, solution oriented, and I'll say to some extent people that also are kind of like structure.
100%
because
agree.
there are methodologies to how each of these Big Fours approach their clients, and you have to follow to the letter, like how that, for example, before you can take on a client, you also there's certain engagement procedures that have to come into play. So like for someone who likes structure, you would also enjoy, will thrive in a Big Four environment.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I've heard that so many times as well. Okay. The next industry we'll talk about is the big tech. So think of Google, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and some more companies that have entered that industry are companies like Tesla, Netflix, LinkedIn. So yeah, these are the big tech companies. The type of culture you would find in companies in big tech is one, innovation, love for innovation.
Oh, of course, right?
Yeah. They never rest on their laurels. They're always, trying to change things, improve things. When you look at a company like Facebook that acquired WhatsApp, now everyone is on WhatsApp. Everyone uses WhatsApp. Every other quarter, there's something they've improved on WhatsApp. So these companies thrive on innovation. If you're the kind of person that likes doing the same repeated thing, you probably don't want to get into big tech. Innovation is big. They don't have hierarchies. I mean, they have, obviously different titles and whatnot, but it's very flat. When you hear of, so it's very flat, which makes decision making very easy and fast. They don't want their competitors to push out innovation before them, right? So how quickly can we get to the decision maker to make the decision? How quickly can we get to that person without going through all these various levels? And so they've created a culture and a structure that enables that. Meaning, if there is something fantastic that has come up, that has been tested, how quickly can you get it to the decision maker? And so they've created a structure that allows that ease of hierarchy and decision making. The third thing is great benefits. If you guys remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was a boom in the benefits that big tech companies were giving. Things around, you could do your laundry at work. You had a barber.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Unthinkable.
Unthinkable. You had a barber at work. You had sleeping pods at work. You had all this fancy games room. You had all you can eat type food, from snacks to healthy food to different types
vegan, just name it. Like you have the options there.
You had so many options. So their benefits, of course, things like health insurance. They have the best dental, vision, health insurance. They have things like for what's it called, pet insurance, like different things.
Yes.
So many rich things. So that's the culture they have. It's also an industry that promoted the rise in issuing stock options to employees.
Yes.
Before big tech, no one was really doing it. No one even knew what it
was. True.
I mean, notable mention is also Alibaba, the e-commerce organization. They also structured their stock options in a way that really benefited their earlier employees at the time. So a great benefit package is also like a cultural thing in big tech. You can't be in big tech and not prioritize such rich benefits and also flexibility.
Yeah.
Before COVID, before anyone started thinking of flexible work structures,
they already started.
They were already doing it for their engineers and whatnot. As fantastic as big tech is, something else that is a cultural thing that isn't glamorous is the pressure that comes with the work. Especially when there is a new update to be pushed out. There's something that needs to be done. The pressure can be high. It can get really pressurized, for lack of a better word. I don't want to use toxic because I don't know that it gets toxic, but it gets like really pressurized where sometimes you have to pull like 20-hour shifts to get things done, especially in like product, UI, UX, tech, quality assurance, data. You want to make sure that what you're pushing out is not in contravention of like the GDPR or whatever the data protection rights are in the US and North America. So it can be high pressure, especially in peak seasons and even off peak seasons. Again, because it's such a competitive industry, you want to push out the first innovation. People are always on their toes. People are always like you always have to be innovative. So that pressure is always there. In terms of people who thrive in environments like this, if you are innovative, if you like to
definitely
yes, if you're innovative, if you don't care for structure, all this, we have to do step 1 to so if you thrive in industries if you thrive in environments like this where you aren't one who depends on structure, you are someone who likes to do something in different ways, then you would like the big tech. Just a quick segue. I have a friend who had worked all her life in like the financial services industry, and she wanted to try something new, and so she went into tech advertising. She didn't like it. The first shocker that hit her was the culture around dress code.
Joggers, Crocs or something.
She said in the summer people wear like slides.
Wow.
And Crocs, and like
hoodies,
jumpers. Yeah. No, hoodies is even fine. Like what do they call, like play suits to work? And she could not fathom what she was saying.
Oh my god.
So that's another thing. If you're someone who really likes to dress up and be corporate and be structured, then maybe the tech sector isn't for you.
The funny thing is, Dickens, for the longest time, I used to admire when I hear, how, like I always thought about what would it look like being HR, being a HR person, working for a big tech. Like I don't even think those guys will be sleeping too. Because you have to be extremely innovative. And I just told myself, I said, I'm not sure I don't know if I can truly, if that environment would work for me, honestly, because even though I try to be innovative as much as I can, but I don't think not at the wavelength as expected, the big tech. Because some things just here, like, how did they even think of the, like, for example, laundry at work?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. No, you're always on. And Bukola, you said something off camera when we were talking about Netflix and the practices they have. And we're not even going to go into that, but it's just to your point is, you are right. Like, the need to be innovative is not just in the technical departments, it's across
board.
Yeah. And I can attest to that because, I haven't worked in big tech, but I have worked in the tech industry. And it's the same thing. You have to think outside of the box. Like, your problems are peculiar to you. So you have to think of peculiar solutions, not just, what can I copy and paste?
True.
You have to think of peculiar solutions to your own like the problems or whatever it is you're going through. So I agree.
Really, really good, really good. I think the other group of industries or group of companies I'll talk about will be the MBBs. So McKinsey, BCG, Bain.